Hello, I'm so glad to have you here. This is Suzanne Gibbs of Suzanne Gibbs Art, and I'm making a video in order to invite you to be a part of my Shh book. This book is a part of the Shh, Say Nothing project that I have been working on for most of 2019 and now into 2020. This book is 8.5 by 8.5 inches. This is a mock-up version of the book. My concept is to have a book of images with stories written by other women relating to the Shh, Say Nothing project. The book is sort of on purpose in black with nothing written on the spine or on the front in order to hearken to Little Black Books. My plan is to have it completely finished by September. In other words, all these stories that I'm collecting and all the work I have to do and the layout that hasn't happened yet will have to be finished by July. Cover page will change. I have art here, but eventually this will be a cover page with the title and my name and whatever pertinent title information necessary. And then I have a person writing an introduction essay for me to this project. Each page I plan to have an image of a piece of my art with a story that's written by somebody like you. So please think about writing a story related to a time in your life where you felt the need to stay silent or keep yourself silent in order to keep the status quo. Each story will be about 500 words, and what I will do is have just first names published with the story in order to protect people that feel like they don't want the story to be traced back to them for whatever reason. I wish that I could publish first names and last names and really break the silence, but in order just to take this step of telling stories that haven't been told, I think first names are completely adequate. I will also be asking each person to give me their birth year, and I'm trying really hard to contact women from every decade possible to write a story for me for this project, including teenagers. I've completed 3 more paintings since I made this book, and so those will be added in here, and that's why there's some blank pages. So each page will have an image of art and a story. The story will be titled. There'll be the first name of the person that wrote the story, and I will of course edit them, and then the year that that person was born. And then thirdly, I will also write the city and state or country that the story happened in or where the person is located when they write the story. Just so we have some basis of knowledge on this data that I'm collecting. Very unscientific. I'm asking friends, family, and people like you online to give me stories. So in the interest of collecting stories, I'd like to read my statement to you. This statement will eventually move to the back of the book. I realized I put it in the wrong place, but I'd love to read it to you. And again, this statement also will probably get edited before the final version of the book, but it's a great starting place to talk about what I'm doing here and how I'd like your help. The Shh, Say Nothing project is the current body of paintings I'm making. My work is a visual interpretation of conflicted feelings via abstracted portraits about the hard work of saying nothing. By consent implied, women have been expected to say nothing for a lifetime and for centuries about work that happens for families, work that inadvertently supports societal and social norms but does not necessarily uplift and advance the life of the women doing the work. My paintings attempt to expose tedious labor and the frustration that builds behind not being valued. The scaffolding of society as we know it depends on our silence and happens in part due to real and difficult social and financial pressures. By painting labor-intensive works with grids hidden in plain sight and patterns galore, I spark viewers to think about the daily production and repetitive work of women that has been unnoticed and or dismissed. My art captures my belief system and holds cantankerous snippets of a feminist anti-authoritarian. Again, examples of my work. The work will be placed here and the stories will get the right-hand side of the book. Each essay I'd like would be about 500 words long. This image of one of my pieces of art does not have an essayist yet, so I would love to have your input. And I do have somebody committed to writing an essay for me for this image. Thank you, Eliza. This page does not have stories to go with it. What this page will represent when I clean it up a bit, because it's a little bit jumpy and bumpy, is these are the very, very first inklings of this idea that I worked on before I started painting larger. Each of these paintings is about 6 by 8 inches, 6 by 9 inches. And they are also made with, let me see if I can give you a more close-up view. I used security envelopes, which was the initial impetus for this project. Security envelopes are made to hide the information inside the envelope and keep it secret. And yet the data that's in there is really necessary for the people that open the envelope. These are all done with collage, and probably those pieces won't be sold, but you never know. I may decide to frame them and make them a part of a solo show eventually. Just in case you don't know and you're catching this just on YouTube, I'm an artist and author. I create contemporary abstract portraits exploring the roles of women in society. Through 2013, I graduated from Claremont University with an MFA in studio art. I received my Master's of Science in Communication from the University of Portland and a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree in design from Carnegie Mellon University. I've studied drawing and painting at Napa Valley Community College and the Academy of Art University in San Francisco. Throughout my career, I have taught art and creativity workshops to students of all ages in schools, museums, private homes, and from my own studio. My work has been exhibited and collected nationally and internationally. I cannot wait for your support in submitting an essay that could possibly be entered into this wonderful book that I'm creating. It will be a limited edition artist book, self-published. What I'm working on here is building a community. People that are willing to share and willing to learn from one another about what it means to feel silenced and to be silenced and maybe even to self-silence, and as a result, saying nothing when in actuality you do have something to say. You do matter. I do care. And I can't wait to create this book with you and have your essay shared with me. To reach me, of course, there's going to be links to my website, my email, things like that. Please do contact me. I am looking for more stories. You can see that there was a lot of empty pages waiting and ready for your input and for your voice. You matter. I care about you. Thank you so much.